What is up, guys? I hope everyone's doing very, very well. This is your favorite horror geek, Joby Snyder, and I am so excited to sit down and talk about this fantastic slasher horror film. We're going to get right into it, guys. Today we are talking about the new slasher, the 2026 horror film, Pinocchio Unstrung. Now, if you are a horror fan and you also grew up in the 90s or you grew up watching Disney movies, you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, you're familiar with Peter Pan, Bambi, Pinocchio, all those childhood fairy tales, all those childhood movies that we grew up watching. I personally love all those movies growing up and love Disney and fairy tales in general. Before I was a horror fan, I was a Disney fan. But just recently in the horror world, we have what they're calling the Pooh-niverse, where they're taking all these childhood classics and turning them into horror, giving them a much darker and terrifying retelling, if you will. And I did a video on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and I did not like that movie, was not a fan. I have not yet watched Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare. I hear good things. I have not watched Bambi the Reckoning, I believe it's called. Bambi the Reckoning. Have not seen that yet. I hear great things. I did just happen to sit down and watch Pinocchio Unstrung, and Jesus Christ. I was so pleased with this film. This movie, this idea for this movie has no business being as good as it is, by any means. I was just in awe. The story is solid, the performances are solid, and we're just going to get into it. Pinocchio Unstrung was directed by, if I say the name right, I'm gonna go for it. Rays Frake Waterfield is the director of this film, and it was released in the United Kingdom on July 24th, 2026. Has a running time of 82 minutes, so it's really not that long of a film. And in the box office, it grossed $555,691. And I really enjoy horror adaptations of familiar stories. So I think that the idea of Pinocchio getting its own slasher story is genius. They could have gone really wrong with it. I think they did everything right. Not to be mistaken for, I believe, the 1991 horror film, Pinocchio Goes Psycho, or Pinocchio Psycho, something on the lines of that, which is a completely different movie from this. It is the same concept. We have the character of Geppetto, which I'm awful because I don't know the actor's name. However, he has been in Rob Zombie's 31 and Rob Zombie's film 3 from Hell. So I'm a horrible horror fan. I cannot remember his name. So you can leave it in the comments and go duh if you want. But he's Geppetto, and he is so fucking awesome in this because he's kind and the performance is really good. It's incredible, and then he takes a turn, and he actually is the villain in this movie, to be honest with you. The story is really basic. Geppetto has a nephew or a grandson by the name of James, and James just lost a really best friend of his. So he's lonely, he's grieving, and Geppetto creates this wooden boy named Pinocchio, and he is designed to be James's friend. And James and Pinocchio create this bond of friendship, but Pinocchio has to stay a secret, has to stay quiet, and James doesn't listen to that rule. And once Pinocchio sees the harm that people do to James, or tries to, Pinocchio goes on a killing spree, punishing everyone that does James wrong. And what a great fucking idea for this story. It's so solid. You really feel the friendship between Pinocchio and James. And James is teaching Pinocchio things, and there's a lot of comedy in this movie as well. There's some funny moments, but Pinocchio wants to be a real boy, like James. And instead of a fairy mother or a fairy bringing him to life, Geppetto is his creator, and he has a wood mother, as they call him, which is this gross piece of bark lady thing that pretty much guides him into being violent. And this movie is so fucking violent. It is just insane how violent this movie is, and maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I was in shock. There is brutal kills in this movie, brutal moments. And we have to talk about the fact that everything is practical. All the deaths, all the kills, all the gore, it's all practical effects, which we don't get that so much in today's horror with CGI and computers and all that shit. We don't really have those practical effects, so it was really great to go into this knowing that the kills and everything were shot practically. Very cool. Pinocchio himself, for one, his look is stellar. It is the best design they could have come up with for the character. Again, I don't know the name of the young man that voices Pinocchio, but he is absolutely fantastic. The voice fits the character and the design of the puppet and everything. And the really cool thing about how they bring Pinocchio to life for the movie is he is if I can say the fucking word, he is animatronic. He is a puppet, but robotic. He is all practical. It's the same way like how they brought Chucky to life in the Child's Play films. He's all robotic, and I just think that is so cool. It's no CGI. It's no bullshit. They built this prop. They built this doll, and they were able to control him, and with technology, and bring him to life. So every movement, every facial expression is being controlled by puppeteers that are actually working the mechanical tronics in the actual doll. And how great is that? Because they could have gone CGI, they could have gone the easy way, and that just would have taken away from the character. The fact that he is very much an actual prop that they use in the film, and he moves great, and he seems, you can't tell. Like, he seems alive, he's moving, he's talking, it's done really, really well. The only CGI I do believe that is in this film is the character of Jiminy Cricket, which he just goes by Cricket in this movie. But Cricket is voiced none other by the amazing and fabulous Robert Englund. I knew I'd get that one right. He is voiced by Robert Englund, and the really awesome thing about Robert Englund being the voice of the Cricket is that if you look really closely at Cricket's face, he has so many features of Freddy Krueger. It's literally Freddy's face on this Cricket, and it's just so well done. And Robert Englund has some great one-liners and is helping Pinocchio through his killing spree and being that mentor for him, like the character in the original story is to Pinocchio. Yeah, if you're looking for a really good story with a lot of great kills, you're not going to be disappointed with Pinocchio Unstrung. Like I said, the kills were very creative, very practical, and brutal. And I was even finding myself going, ouch, shit. Like, they look painful. They look like it hurts. And of course, that's what we want in a slasher film. We want to see the killer come up with creative and fucked up ways to murder the cast of said film. And they do this really, really well. Very enjoyable to sit down. If you're somebody that enjoys a body count and enjoys how the kills are laid out, you'll really enjoy how the kills are spaced and how they're executed in the film. This movie is not very long at all. I think it said 89 minutes, maybe 80 some minutes. So it's fast. It goes quickly. And I think that it would have been better if we kind of slowed down and kind of appreciated what we're getting a little bit more, because we're running through it as the film is running, we're running through it and trying to get to know the characters, and we don't spend too much time on the characters that are treating James like shit, that Pinocchio feels like they deserve to be killed. It's quick segments, and then the kills start, and then it just keeps going and keeps going until it's over. And I think that it would have been better if they just slowed it down just a little bit, giving us a little more, because we want more. We want more of it. But even though I think we leave the film wanting more, it gives you, it does give you that satisfaction of being in the audience and being like, you know what, this movie was pretty fucking stellar. I want more. I want it to continue. So I think in a way that's a good thing. That's what the filmmakers are looking for. We're wanting more of the movie, but we only get what they give us, guys. So, but yeah, I was just so impressed with everything. Like I said, I was not a fan of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. In my personal opinion, it's awful. But they really outdid themselves with this story and this adaptation of Pinocchio. I just I was just really pleased. And I think that any horror fan or any movie fan in general, when they sit down and watch this, they're going to be pleased too, because we're getting everything that one could possibly expect from a movie like this. So if you're bored, guys, and you're looking for something to watch, I highly recommend you go check out Pinocchio Unstrung. It's a damn good time, guys. Again, this might not be for everybody, especially fans, older generation of the fans of the childhood stories may not be into these, even if they are horror fans. I know a lot of people that I've talked to personally about this Pooniverse and just childhood things becoming horror. A lot of people are against it. And I totally get it. But it's all in good fun, I think. And if you're a horror fan, these are just absolutely icing on the cake. So I just think that they did this so well. And I think that if you're going to hate on it, that's your opinion. But so many of us absolutely love these movies and love the ideas of them. And they're just going to keep coming. And I'm ready. I'm ready for them. So again, as I said before, if you're looking for something to watch tonight, I highly recommend you go check out Pinocchio Unstrung. And until next time, horror fans, stay scared, stay safe, and happy watching.